All right, welcome, Agile friends. This is Greg Miller. With me is Mark Metz. You may, if we sound familiar to you, well, good. Together, the two of us, Mark and Greg, we are co-hosts of the Agile Within podcast. Today, we're hosting this session with our wonderful speaker, the one and only Johanna Rothman, who's also appeared on the Agile Within way back in the beginning. If you listen to that, go check that out. In this session, we'll learn from Johanna about creating short feedback loops at all levels. Welcome, Johanna.
Thank you so much. I am so happy to be here with both of you.
Thanks, Johanna. So in this session, we're going to learn about creating innovative products using short feedback loops. I want to let everybody know that there are also other sessions on the Agile Online Summit 2023, so don't want you to miss those. An example is Fred Deichler is going to have a session titled From Development Manager to Agile Coach, 21 Competencies Along the Path. So be sure and check out all our other sessions at agileonlinesummit.com. All right, so Johanna, feedback loops. Explain to us, why are they so important?
So any Agile approach is always built around change. And the more change we want, the shorter our feedback loops need to be. So we might not have a totally innovative product, but even if we're just doing a port from an old computer, an old system, an old configuration to something new, we have some innovation, some learning. So the three kinds of feedback loops I want to discuss are the feedback loop inside the team. That's the cycle time for on a regular basis. What is the cycle time for your team? You can do a back of the napkin cycle time and say, for any week or two or three or four, about how many of which things do we finish. That's a back of the napkin. You can actually say I hate to say on average, but our typical cycle time runs between 3 and 5 days. That would be great if long for me. So the faster our feedback loops inside the team, the more flexibility we have with changing the roadmap, with learning from what we did before and what the customers say now, right? So the shorter that feedback loop inside the team, the more learning we get, the faster we can adapt. Now, the second feedback loop is from the team to the product strategy. And the more often the team releases, the more likely the product leader, I don't call them product owners anymore for a wide variety of reasons. That's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But the product leader can then change the backlog and the roadmap, right? So we learn something, a customer says, I know I asked for this, you gave me that, it's not really what I need. And then the product leader says, tell me more about these problems. And then extracts the information from the customer and says, I want to change the roadmap. So if the team has a short cycle time, the product leader can then change the roadmap relatively quickly. The more often the roadmap changes, the more often the product strategy can change. That frees the project portfolio managers to say, oh, we could do something else, or we're not going to do anything else. We're going to stick with our corporate strategy for now. But we have many more decision points. So if you think about the onion, the team feedback loops and the shorter the cycle time, the faster those feedback loops allow product leadership and product strategy to have faster roadmap feedback loops. And that allows faster feedback loops for the project portfolio and therefore